This is One on One.
The fire in a freshman dorm left 3 dead and sent 54 students to area hospitals.
This is a huge tragedy. We don't know a whole lot yet.
There's kids hanging out the windows and dark black smoke coming out from over their heads. We're making our way in. The student is coming out, and I could not tell you if it was a boy or a girl, completely burnt, smoking, no hair. Their face was completely blackened. I cannot imagine how these kids made it.
That was a clip from a documentary, After the Fire, a true story of heroes and cowards. You're looking on the set, at the set right now, of Shawn Simons and Llanos, 2 young men who were there on January 19th, 2000, a fire that engulfed Bowling Hall at Seton Hall University. 3 young men never made it out of that dorm, that fire. 58 others were injured. These 2 men were roommates that day, Shawn and Al. Both escaped, both were terribly burned, and their lives were changed forever. Hey, gentlemen.
How you doing?
You honor us by being here today. You know, TV never does justice, even on PBS, where we think we do the long form. Never do justice to your story. That day, 12 years plus back. Seeing that video, how hard for you?
It's a little nerve-wracking. I mean, you think about where we came from and you know what we went through, and to see it on film, it's one of those things where you just like I still can't believe it, and it was me, you know, and I still can't believe we went through what we went through. Yeah.
So it happens. Both of you are badly burned. You were burned over more of your body.
Yes, about 56% third-degree burns from the waist up.
And your situation?
Mine was 16%. It was mainly the intensity of the heat, so it was mainly my hands and a little of my face.
And you wind up going to St. Barnabas Medical Center in Livingston, and we were just talking about Dr. Hani Mansour,
yes.
who up at the burn center up at Barnabas, he's amazing.
Yes.
And he told me about you guys when I was up there. He talked about what great guys you are, and he's a great guy. But you were there a long time. How long?
I was there about 5 months there at St. Barnabas. Then afterwards, they sent me over to Kessler for physical therapy for about 2 months. But the time I was there, the burn unit was awesome to me.
I was in the hospital for a month and in a coma for 3 weeks.
Yeah. Again, and they tried to start describing, and by the way, the book, the companion book, have you guys read this book?
Yeah,
of course.
After the Fire, a true story of friendship and survival by Rob and Gabby Fisher, a former colleague at the Ledger. You guys are tight.
Yes.
Real tight.
A little too tight sometimes.
And you go around, you talk about this experience, and you talk about a lot of things, but one of the things you talk about is some of the lessons learned from this horrific incident at Bowling Hall, at Seton Hall, those 12 years ago. Biggest lessons?
Biggest lessons are overcoming adversity, especially as a college student. So many times you go off to college and you think about, you know, are you going to get into trouble partying and, you know, drinking too much?
You were freshmen.
And we were freshmen at the time. So
just there.
You know, we had just completed our first semester and going on to our second semester, you know, we thought we knew everything, and then this happened to us. So, you know, but we also perspired because we were able to overcome this adversity and go back to college and, you know, live a normal life even though we suffered such severe injuries.
Overcoming adversity, big part of it.
Definitely.
Go ahead.
And one of the main things too is to be aware of your surroundings, because when you go off to college, you figure, you know, the main thing, especially as a parent, they send you off, you never think your kid's gonna get hurt from a fire, or you always think they worry about partying or doing something dumb. But yeah, we always try to tell everybody to be aware of your surroundings, safety-wise. It's not even fire. It could be being on campus or walking by yourself at nighttime. It's just to be where, always have a plan, exit strategy, just in case something similar happens to you.
And the sprinkler situation's big, right?
It's huge.
Yes.
I mean,
Didn't have them at the time. They were not mandatory at the time. Things have changed.
things have definitely changed. In the state of New Jersey, there's a mandated law, and it's already been fulfilled as every dormitory, whether it's a college dormitory or boarding school, any dormitory that houses children now has to have mandatory fire sprinklers. The problem is, as we travel the country going to college, we find out that other states, it's not mandatory, and we just can't believe it. So
When they're talking to you, they're listening to you, do you find legislators who are even engaged in this are saying, all right, what? And we have to deal with this?
it's a tough situation. I mean, you know, a lot of the schools and you know, they cry that, you know, we don't have the money for it, and you would think that the state would say, hey, you know, these are our children, you know,
Right.
you can't put a value
You
on the
would
price
think.
of our children.
That must be frustrating to have gone through what you've gone through, which we can't even comprehend, and have them say, well, you know, we would like to, but, you know, we don't have the cash.
Yeah, and one of the things that we both have kids, and you know, we want to be comfortable sending our kids, especially out of state of New Jersey, sending them somewhere that they'll be safe, and we know they have a sprinkler system, and you know, if just in case a similar situation happens, they'll be safe.
Yeah, can we show some pictures? Family pictures?
Yes.
That is my beautiful wife and my two children, 10-year-old son Tamir and 7-year-old Jalen. This is actually at my wedding last year in Mexico.
It was a great time.
Go ahead. What do you got, Al?
That's my wife and my two kids for Christmas. We took a family picture. It was Christmas morning, and it's always a great moment being with them.
Describe your kids, and how much do you tell your kids about your story, your life, that part of your life? How much?
It's funny, my 7-year-old is, you know, he's
And by the way, what the heck is age appropriate?
right, exactly. My 7-year-old, my 10-year-old has already read the book. He's, you know, he was like, you know, as soon as he can read, he was like, you know, I want to read the story. I don't know if he necessarily can comprehend everything that happens in the book, but when you grow up in a household where you don't know any difference, this is your father,
Right.
you know, these are your parents, and that's what you know. They don't look at us any different. They look at Alvaro, and they call him Uncle Al. My kids call him Uncle Al, you know, and they look at us as if, you know, we're just as normal as anybody else.
Is that true? Because I heard, Al, your daughter's a bit protective of you.
Yeah, she is. She's very protective.
How old's your daughter?
She's 7-year-old. I think she gets that from her mom's. Her mom's is pretty overprotective of me as well.
You like that?
Yeah, I like always having somebody there for me. I don't mind.
And help me understand something. We can't comprehend, because from what I understand, the struggle, the pain, the adversity is something I can't comprehend. The support around you at the time, family, how important?
It's one of the most important things, because there's times that, you know, you go through struggles, you hit a wall, especially with your recovery situation, because it's such a long road and you have to have a lot of patience and stay positive.
Who was there for you?
My parents, my sister that have friends. That's the great thing. I had always someone around. Shawn especially, he was there every day for me.
What are we looking at right there?
That's my mother over my bed right now.
Yeah.
And, yeah, she, you know, it was great having her. Sometimes she could be a little overprotective of me, you know, try and make sure I'm safe. And
You could understand overprotective.
yes, and me having kids as well, you know, I totally understand. And you know, she was, of course, you know, scared to lose me, especially everything I've been through.
Absolutely. What do we got for Shawn?
Same situation. This is my mother over my bed. We like to kind of say, you know, the 3 things that helped us out. We call them the 3 F's: family, friends, and faith. And my mother was one that instilled all 3 of those, especially the faith part. You know, she was always there praying for me and making sure that, you know, she was there for not only me, but for Alvaro's family and for, you know, him. And, you know, that's why I say, you know, the 3 F's, family, friends, and faith, you can't go wrong with those 3.
And your moms became close.
Yeah.
Yes, even though they have a language barrier, they were all
There's
supportive.
2 moms right there?
Yep.
Yes.
I'm sorry, language barrier.
Yes. Even though they had a language barrier, they still found out a way to communicate and talk to each other, because they were going through the same situation.
You know, I'm curious about something. You said it's about friendship, it's about overcoming adversity, it's about family, it's about faith. Do you have a hard time, before we get out of here, you have a hard time listening to people complain?
You know, it's one of those funny situations because everybody goes through things differently.
Because my shoulder hurts right now. And the people at Barnabas are dealing with that. When I'm sitting there, I'm saying, I can't talk to you guys about that.
Everybody goes through different things in life, and they approach it a different way. I always say that I'm kind of glad that this fire happened to Alvaro and I, because we know that we were strong enough to go through it. We don't know if other people would have been able to, you know, go through what we went through, or even wanted, you know, some people may have just said, you know, I want to give up. So.
Yeah, you know, we all have obstacles from small to big. It's just, you know, other people, that's their big obstacle. It's not as severe as ours, but that is something big to them in their life. So we always tell them to stay positive and try to overcome anything that's, you know, that's put in front of you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Appreciate it.
Thank you
I
for having
you
us.
had a big impact in a short period of time here. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
All right. We'll be right back. Thank you.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, founded by the Jewish community, and by Health First New Jersey. Promotional support provided by NJ Biz, All Business, All New Jersey, and by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association and its monthly magazine, New Jersey Business. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been produced in partnership with St. Joseph's Healthcare System.